Hello, this is the 29th of July 2023 and I'm just making a follow-up to my intraocular lens replacement surgery where I had the Technis Synergy intraocular lens implants in both eyes. The last update I did was 18 days post-op, and I just wanted to let you know how my eyes have been going for those who are interested in getting lens replacement surgery. The last update I did, I described how my vision was not optimal. In fact, I had significant post-op blurriness. I had difficulties seeing in daylight, and there was also what is typical to see glare, halos and starburst at night. So unlike what some people experience, in perhaps 2 weeks they have near perfect vision or perfect vision, I did not have that experience. From what I've been told, there is about a 70% success rate with this surgery, and 30% of us will need follow-up correction. I have obviously fallen into that 30% category, which is unfortunate. So since the last video, has my eyesight improved? Between that period of time on the last video and my 2-month post-op examination, I had further deterioration of my vision to the point where I started to get worried again, and I contacted the clinic, and they referred me to see a local optometrist because the clinic was so far away, just to get an eye exam to make sure there was nothing sinister going on. And even though their equipment is not as extensive as the one in the clinic, the optometrist was able to determine that there was nothing sinister going on. So I just then waited out until the 19th of July, which was my 2-month post examination. When I presented, I complained of further blurriness, particularly in my left eye, which was also stinging. I had increased headaches, just generally feeling uncomfortable with my vision. I had worsening blurriness in the daytime. Nothing really seemed to alleviate the issue. I was still taking all the eye drops as prescribed, which was the eye lubricant, which is basically an artificial tear eye drop, and the Elevro anti-inflammatory drops at night. I'd run out of the Maxidex dexamethasone eye drops, and anything else I was taking was basically just paracetamol for headaches. After the examination, the ophthalmologist indicated that I had some apparent haziness in my eyes, but he didn't really specify what the haziness was. So that could be posterior capsule opacification, which is when from what I understand, is when there is some residual, I think they're called epithelial cells, that haven't been completely irrigated out of the eye when the new lens goes in, and they regrow and cause like a frostiness at the posterior section of the capsule. It's often referred to as secondary cataract. There was also what he explained was some mild inflammatory response after the surgery that was still going on in my eyes. Also, after the eye examination, he said I also had some residual astigmatism. So the end result is that I've been put on the Maxidex drops again, which is the dexamethasone steroid drops, to continue on the Elevro, and also obviously the eye drops, because I've had really bad dry eyes to the point where I'm probably using eye drops probably 15 times a day. I really find that my eyes are drying out a lot. He said that I will have to go back in at least, at least 4 months or more, preferably more, he said, to get what's called YAG laser. And YAG laser is to remove posterior capsule opacification. So that basically, it burns a hole through the posterior capsule, which is behind the lens implant, and that opens up a hole to allow a clear light to go through the artificial lens into the back of the eye, into the retina. So that would be the first procedure that I'll need. The second procedure will be then the refractive laser surgery, and that will be done to fix the astigmatism. The procedure involving the refractive laser, what it does is it will reshape the cornea of my eye so that the light refracts correctly onto the artificial lens and then into the back of the eye. So there's two procedures that I'm going to have to prepare for in the future. It is a bit of a hassle for me, just personally, because I spend a lot of time overseas. It means that I'm going to have to outlay more money than what I was hoping for to go back for surgery, and obviously then stay longer than I wanted to, because each surgery then requires post-op consultation and examination to make sure that everything has gone okay. So there's a few things there that I have to digest, and it's a warning for people that are considering getting lens replacement surgery, that it's not all a simple procedure for quite a fair percent of us. 30% isn't insignificant. A 3 in 10 chance that you'll have problems. From what I've read, the posterior capsule opacification, PCO, is very common as well. So it might even be more than that for a lot of people that have cataract surgery. Even though my eyes were not cataracts at the time, they were at the very beginning of cataracts, which means that it doesn't matter if you had cataracts or not. It has to do with from what I understand, the accumulation of cells on the lens, on the capsule, when the lens goes in. I don't think they can always achieve getting all these residual cells out of the capsule. But this is just from a layman's point of view, just from what I've read. I'm no expert. I could be wrong in what I'm saying, but it just appears that that's the general gist of things. So that's about it. My journey hasn't finished, and at the moment I'm just, I'll give you an update as to how my eyes are now, today. So it's the 29th, it's 10 days since my last exam. I do have to say that my vision has actually improved a bit. Whatever problem I had with my left eye, since I've been on the dexamethasone drops, there must have been some reduced inflammation, because now I can see better in daylight. I bought an expensive pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. They're, just have a look, I'll get them. Just hold on a sec. Yeah, I got these. These are Ray-Ban. They're called Chromants, and they have really good polarization, if that's the right word. I think they've got blue light filter. They've got other things in them, which you don't get from a cheap pair of sunglasses. There was definitely a difference when I put these on compared to other sunglasses. These were actually the best ones for my eyes. They definitely make a difference in the daylight, and I recommend anyone that's in a similar type of journey like mine to get yourself a good pair of sunglasses. I've got no affiliation to Ray-Ban, but I do find that these ones are particularly good for my condition. Nighttime, I have an improvement of vision, I feel. The halos on headlights and tail lights are not as severe now. Saying that, I do ride a motorbike around here, and I don't feel that confident riding around still at night because the glare from oncoming lights is still quite severe, and it does block some of your peripheral vision around that vehicle. So if there was something oncoming that didn't have lights on, or was obscured in some way, you could miss it, which becomes a danger. So in particularly dark environments, I wouldn't be driving at all. But walking around, fluorescent lights and street lights, shop lights, things like that, they're fine. There is a bit of halo or not starburst, a bit of glare from fluoro lights. But for example, I'm inside now in my bedroom here, and I'm looking up at a fluorescent ceiling light, and yes, there is some glare around it, but it's not disturbing. It's not something that I focus on a lot. And from another video that I watched some time ago from an IOL expert, he mentioned that one of the biggest things you shouldn't do in regards to suffering from night visual disturbances is to focus on it, because a lot of the reduction of halos, glare and starburst at night has got to do with your neural adaptation. So if you keep focusing on the visual disturbances, your brain will then focus on it as well, and it may think that's a normal thing for your vision to have because you're constantly thinking about it. So he was saying that the best thing you can do is to ignore it, and then your brain will then decide that it's not meant to be there. I haven't got his actual explanation 100%, but that's just from my interpretation and memory of what he said. But at the end of the day, the main thing is to try not to focus on it and just get on with things at night, and you will find that you don't notice it as much, and in fact the disturbances are reduced. When I looked at the halos, especially at the beginning, it looked like a cobweb, like a typical spiderweb cobweb with the circles and then the lines coming up from the centre. And it basically matches the number of rings on my lenses. So it was obviously had something to do with the light hitting all the rings on my lenses and then projecting that somehow on the light image I'm looking at. So the brain's just going, oh, which ring do I focus on? And it's just letting it all hit every ring. Well, that's just the way it seems to me anyway. So other than that, I'll just make sure I've got nothing else to mention. I just wrote a few things down. Yeah, that's about it. Just keep up with eye drops. and we'll just see how things go. I'll probably do another update, or I will do another update. Well, if things improve to the point where it's significant, or after my YAG surgery. So I hope that helps for people that have some sort of wish to have lens surgery, or for those who have had surgery and just wanted to see if their experience is normal or abnormal. But like I said, I'm one of those people that was in the 30% category that didn't have the ideal outcome. So if you're someone like me, and in particular someone that had some astigmatism at the beginning, then this is what you could also expect. But as the surgeon, I'll just remember the surgeon on the 19th of July, the 2-month follow-up, he did say that my eye health looks great, the lenses look great. They did an eye check, like an eye test in the office, and he said, you've got great vision. It's just that you've got some complications that need tweaking. So the YAG laser and the get rid of the inflammation, and also the residual astigmatism, which can be corrected through refractive laser surgery. So the journey isn't over. I've just got to put up with it for the next, let's be realistic, probably a year. It's probably going to be 6 months before I get my YAG done, and then another 6 months after that for the laser corrective surgery. I have read they can do those two together, but it depends on what the ophthalmologist decides, and from what he told me, it appears he wants to do them separately. It'd be great if it could be done together, but I want the best outcome. So do I regret it? I'm feeling a bit more confident. It's just that the costs have blown out because of the travelling and the inconvenience, and just having to put up with imperfect vision whilst everything gets fixed. So I'd be still more inclined to be less enthusiastic about it, but I'm feeling a bit more optimistic at the same time. So I hope that helps you, and I'll talk to you next time.